Hey guys, welcome back to the last part of this 10-part intro to Java programming tutorial series. If you guys are enjoying these, if you guys enjoyed the full series, please go ahead and give this video a like, leave a comment. That way I know that these tutorials are working for you guys. But in the previous episode, we learned about a full program. So we actually wrote a full program that took in some input. We created our calculator class. We created an object out of it. We wrote a while loop. We used conditionals. We did some parsing. We did a lot of things in this tutorial series, and hopefully things are making sense for you guys. So in this video, I just wanted to give you guys a very brief overview about what we learned and take any questions from you guys if you guys have any. So if you have anything that you'd like to say, please go ahead and just leave it down below. But with that said, let's go ahead and just give you guys a very brief overview of what we learned. So this full tutorial series, we first learned how to create our very first class, and we did that by just saying public class, and then we called it my program, and then we had the curly brace and curly brace, and then we defined the main method. So we ran into an issue where we were not able to run the program without the main method, since we know that Java is looking for that method. Then we moved on and learned a little bit about how to print to the screen. So we wrote our very first program that took a string and essentially just wrote it out to the screen. And this was very powerful since we're able to control exactly what we're doing in our program. Then later on, we moved on and learned about variables. We learned how to instantiate variables, and we learned about what a variable is. And we know that a variable is somewhat of a placeholder or a box where we can represent a particular item or object. So we can say something like the following, where we're taking something and we're storing it into this box. And now this box represents exactly what's at the other end of the equal signs. So after variables, we moved on and learned about methods. So if we go into our calculator class, again, I'm pressing Command and then just clicking in. We learned about how to create methods. We learned about the different methods that are available to us. And now we know that with methods, we can keep our code very clean and we don't have to repeat a lot of the logic. We also learned how to access these methods by using the dot operator on the object of that class. So let's just go back to my program here. And here we know that calculator is a particular object of this class type. And here we're accessing by using the dot operator. So after methods, we moved into loops and we learned our for loop and while loop. And in this program that we wrote previously, we wrote our very first while loop that reads in a file line by line. Afterwards, we moved on and learned a little bit about conditionals, which we have in here. So these are our if, else if, and else statements, and this allows us to run particular parts of code, whatever's between these curly braces. It allows us to run that by specifying a specific condition. So the stuff within the curly braces will only get run if that condition is met. Then later on, we moved on and just did a deep dive into classes, the available packages that Java offers, and we wrote this calculator class. We learned about the constructor and what arguments and things they could take. We learned about employees. We also described how useful it is to create classes since it keeps our code very organized. And then we use this calculator to calculate each one of these operations, and we could do this many, many times over and over again. Then afterwards, we moved into input, how to read input from the file. So we kind of repeated this already, but we used the Java pre-built libraries in order to create a file reader, and then use the buffered reader in order to read the file line by line. Then afterwards, we moved on into writing our own algorithm, our own program, our own code that puts everything that we learned together. And we were able to construct a program that takes an input from our file. And this was our my input file. And we were able to read in this input, and we were able to output the result of all the manipulation. So if we look here, we know that we have manipulated each line, and we were able to perform the different operations on each. And that was the introduction to Java programming. So there's a lot here to learn, and I hope that all of this makes sense to you guys. Congrats for everyone that made it this far. If you guys like this tutorial, if you guys want to see more like it, please go ahead and let me know by leaving a like down below. If you guys have any questions, suggestions, please go ahead and just let me know. Again, I will respond to every single comment that I get. And thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.